In future, Earth is choking on its own population. Overpopulation has pushed humanity to the brink of extinction. In a desperate attempt to save the planet, the United Nations orders every country to reduce its population. In response, the United States enacts a chilling new law known as the thinning. Under this law, students are forced to take a high-stakes test once a year, and those who fail, they're executed by lethal injection. This is no longer just about education, it's about survival. Somewhere else, Lena Michaels is tutoring a high schooler named Simon, who's having a tough time with equations. He asks for her help, and instead of explaining, Lena pulls out a small box filled with lenses and hands it to him. The moment Simon puts them on, everything clicks. He's suddenly able to solve every math problem with ease. Meanwhile, we meet Blake, the son of Texas Governor Dean. Late at night, Blake sneaks away to meet up with his girlfriend, Ellie, in his car. They talk about the big test coming up the next day. Ellie's anxious, but Blake reassures her she's going to do just fine. Their quiet moment doesn't last. One of Dean's security men finds them and drags Blake back to the governor's office. Dean isn't pleased. He's upset that Blake snuck out on the eve of an important exam, and sees Ellie as nothing more than a distraction. The next day is the test day. Students gather in long lines outside the school, each one required to pass through intense security before being allowed in. Lena waits in line with her friend, Kellen Woods, inching closer to the entrance. Suddenly, a commotion breaks out. One student is caught with answers scribbled on his arm. He bolts, trying to escape, but the guards are on him in seconds. No one has ever managed to cheat or run from the exam, and that hasn't changed. Inside the building, Blake and Ellie share a final hug before heading into the exam hall. The test kicks off, and each student has 2 hours to complete it using their tablets. Lena finishes with confidence, clearly unbothered, while Kellen struggles to keep up. As soon as the exam ends, the results are announced. A teacher steps forward and begins reading the names of those who didn't pass. Hope and dread hang in the air as everyone waits to hear their fate. Those who don't pass are taken away by the guards. Some cry, some fight back, and a few try to run, but resistance only leads to beatings. Luckily, Lena, Kellen and Blake make it through. But just when they think it's over, Ellie's name is called. She's taken. Blake, desperate, calls his father and begs him to intervene, but Dean coldly reminds him that the law applies to everyone. Furious and helpless, Blake tries to fight back on his own. He attacks the guards, yelling for Ellie to run, but they're quickly subdued. There's nothing Blake can do. A year passes. Now, it's just one day before the next thinning. This time, it's Lena's younger sister, Corinne, who has to take the test for the first time. When the doorbell rings, it's Ms. Birch, Lena's teacher, and the one who's been looking after her and Corinne ever since their mother died. Lena is worried sick about Corinne, but Ms. Birch does her best to reassure her, insisting things will be okay. Elsewhere, Blake is recording a video. He declares he's going to fail the test on purpose, hoping to expose his father and the system. On the morning of the test, Lena drops Corinne off at her kindergarten. In class, the kids watch a cheerful animated video explaining Earth's population crisis and the harsh ways different countries manage it. Some enforce strict one-child policies. Others kill off the elderly. In the US, they keep only the smartest and execute the rest. Corinne sits for the test and her teacher watches with a heavy heart. Aware that some students won't make it through, relief washes over her when Corinne passes. Lena and Kellen take their tests next, and both are done in no time. Elsewhere, Governor Dean stumbles upon Blake's recording and erupts with anger. He immediately contacts the test official, Mason King, demanding that Blake pass no matter what. To comply, Mason switches Blake's score with Lena's, resulting in her unexpected failure. Ms. Birch steps forward to challenge the outcome, pointing out that Lena is her top student and something must be wrong. But her protest falls on deaf ears. The result stands. Quietly, Ms. Birch slips Lena a keycard to help her escape. Meanwhile, Blake, baffled by his own success, joins the other passing students at a celebration thrown in their honor. Elsewhere, Dean publicly announces his run for President of the United States. During his speech, he proudly praises the nation's education system, claiming it ranks first and has helped reduce crime. Blake listens quietly at the party, then slips away unnoticed. He knocks out a guard and sneaks into the control room. At the same time, Lena and the other students who failed are stripped for decontamination and led into an execution chamber. Just as the lethal injection is about to be administered, the power cuts out. Blake has taken down the system. Chaos breaks out and the students make a run for it. Lena is the only one who manages to escape, thanks to a keycard Ms. Birch had given. Mason soon arrives at the facility and discovers Lena is gone. Meanwhile, Blake finds her and helps her fight off a guard. Together, they uncover evidence that their scores were rigged. Crawling through the air ducts, they make their way to the server room to expose the truth. The school remains under lockdown and word begins to spread across the state. Parents grow anxious. Dean calls Mason demanding updates. During the escape, Blake accidentally crashes through a vent and falls into the swimming pool. Lena dives in after him and revives him with CPR. After changing into fresh clothes from the locker room, they press on with their plan. At one point, Lena drops her keycard near a patrolling guard. To retrieve it without being seen, she and Blake sneak into the science lab and rig a makeshift magnet on a string. They come close to being caught while fishing for the card. Lena escapes through the vents, while Blake stays behind and hides. As Lena pulls out the keycard, a hand snatches it away. It's Blake, now disguised in a guard's uniform. He had knocked out a real guard to get it. Meanwhile, the guard he attacked earlier manages to alert Mason that Lena has a keycard. Suspicious, Mason gathers all the teachers, convinced someone inside helped her. During the commotion, Ms. Birch slyly swipes a keycard from another teacher and avoids getting caught when Mason starts checking everyone. He turns on the teacher she stole from, demanding answers, but the man insists he has no idea what's going on. Lena makes it to the server room and uses the keycard, only to find the system locked behind a password. She quickly messages Kellen, who's good with tech. With his help, she breaks in and finds something shocking. She scored 98% on the exam but still failed. Blake, on the other hand, only got 15% and passed. Ellie scored 88% and failed too. It hits Lena. The system is rigged. She forwards the evidence to Kellen. Just then, the power flickers back on. Mason spots Lena and captures her. Still undercover, Blake tries to take charge by ordering another guard to move the failed students to the recreational hall. The guard refuses. A fight breaks out. Blake is overpowered and his disguise falls apart. Kellen leaks the data to a news channel, and soon the scandal makes headlines across the state, exposing the manipulated results. Dean is quickly contacted by his political party, who warn him that his presidential candidacy is in jeopardy. In a desperate move to protect himself, Dean shifts the blame onto Mason, claiming he had no part in the scheme. He instructs Mason to only carry out executions on students who genuinely failed, including his own son. Back at the school, Mason gets ready to carry out the orders. Dean tells him to release the students who passed. Before Blake is taken away with the others, Lena shares a kiss with him. The group is injected and assumed dead. When the lockdown is lifted, Lena reunites with Corinne and Ms. Birch. Meanwhile, the bodies of the executed students are quietly transported underground via an elevator. But then something unexpected happens. They start to wake up. The injections weren't deadly, just sedatives. The students find themselves inside a massive underground facility run by a powerful tech corporation. As Blake looks around, he spots Ellie among the workers. That's when the horrifying truth comes to light. The government has been secretly using students who failed the test as forced labor, pretending they were executed.